So, when I was a kid, I was determined that I was going to be a great artist. I was also very aware of the fact that it seemed like all great art comes from suffering, and which made it really problematic because my parents were both really nice people. I figured out a method to take care of this. I read that Picasso had 9 brothers and sisters, and I determined that based on what my parents made, that if they were to have 9 more children, we would be destitute. So I tried very hard to convince them that this is what they really needed. They did not go along with it. I told them, that it wasn't really fair to my future to not go into poverty. People are selfish. What can you do? I continued to have a kind of crush on what really I realize now was this book that I read when I was a little kid called The Prince and the Pauper. And what I really wanted was to be either the Prince or the Pauper. But I knew that I knew enough about narrative arcs that whatever you start whatever you start the story as, it's only going to be a good story if you end up as the opposite thing. So I knew that if I really wanted to end up really well off and it'd be sympathetic, I had to start off really badly off. So when you think that I was wanting to start off destitute because I was such an empathetic person, it was actually that I wanted to end up super well off, but have everyone cheering for me. So it was actually a completely selfish motivation. Thank you. My dream of being so singularly, sort of Eminem 8 Mile-like, was crushed by the fact that I do not actually exist in a world of black and white contrasts. And I instead had to settle for the fact that I was living in a world of slightly differentiated hues, which, of course, is supposed to make for great art, actually, all that subtlety. But I was a little kid, so I thought that great art meant, meant that I would cut off my ear or something. But hopefully I wouldn't have to do that. In the end, what I ended up channeling all that energy into, though, was the idea that I would find some woman who I would be able to give all of my passion to, and I would just be so intense that, it would be like my love was a work of art. And I tried this really hard for at least 3 different crushes. I came up to one, I said to her, she said to me, I know we can't really spend that much time together, but it's just because I have, pneumonia. And I said, I know, but I want you to know that I would walk on nails to be with you. And she never called me back. I continued this strategy for a while. I thought that, by being, the more desperate that I was, the more I was like some kind of grand, torch song or something. And after every now and then I would also say that I was doing it in the name of feminism, because I was like, I know torch songs are generally sung by women, but then that just shows how emotionally resonant I am, that, I am singing a torch song. I'm living a torch song. Eventually I realized that I actually, much like I had to realize that I was not living inside of a Picasso painting or a movie about a Picasso painting, I was also not living inside of a torch song. Thank God. And so, in a sense, I had to realize that the best thing that had happened to me was actually not so bad. And that not being crushed was actually not so bad either. And just had to enjoy being just lightly, gently, subtly, slightly crushed. Like your average middle-class American. Thank you.
That's it. Thank you, guys. No, wait.